Do you think it's sunk into their minds that if that happens again, they could be out that quick?
Yeah.
Like it's a good teaching tool.
I think that they're way smarter than me, so they figured that out long before I did. But we watched the second half of the game yesterday, just to kind of keep it fresh in our mind how we had a chance, we let it slip away, and let's move on. I mentioned that this morning at our Coaches versus Cancer breakfast. Last night I got a phone call from Coach Cheney. He said, "We are moving forward. Look ahead."
Fran,
I will give that message to them.
you've got the longest stretch of any team waiting to find out an opponent, because you won't find out that late. Is it actually good in some ways not to know that opponent and just worry about yourselves for a couple of days and what you have to do?
I think that's thinking of things, Tom, that I don't really think that much about. What I think about is how our team's playing. Somebody said, is that an advantage, or is it a disadvantage not knowing who you're going to play with? And it's not either one of those two. It's just let's worry about ourselves, and then we're going to have plenty of time to look at South Florida films, California film. We're going to watch the games, watch the game on Wednesday night. We'll see how they're going to play. But again, these kids, they're going to come out and they're going to play like they're going to play. I wish I had a great sense and feel for how they're going to do. I don't right now. Hopefully I'll get a better sense as we get closer to Friday.
As a coach, it's always exciting to see your name called on Selection Sunday and the band's out there, the cheerleaders out there. How do you get the guys back down to business today?
Well, I think there's enough time. We have enough time now getting back today. We'll crack the whip a little bit at 2:45, and they understand. These guys have been around a few games, so that we have a bunch of guys. This is their fourth NCAA tournament, another bunch that are the third NCAA tournament. So those guys have a sense of let's get back to work here, and they'll do a good job, I trust.
Does that make it more maddening that you did have a little bit of a slide at the end? I mean,
Yeah, it really does. It really does. We made some. We didn't even catch a ball that 1,000 times in a row that pass will be made and completed, but it wasn't last Friday. For what reason? I don't know.
How about rank? I mean, it sounds silly, but they are 18, 19, 20. When you get a rank and you get starting to talk about you.
Maybe it gets in your head a little bit, but we talk about it so much that I can't imagine that would happen. But and it was interesting too. Our inbounder had a chance to move a little closer to the receiver. I won't divulge their names, but toss them under the bus. I was listening to Pat Knight yesterday. He said, "No, did I toss him under? I was driving the bus." I thought it was great, though. It was terrific what he did. But in any event, our inbounder could have thrown it closer to the receiver, run closer to the receiver, which would have probably ensured that the pass was completed. That being said, catch the ball. So, but it is bad. It is what happens when you're hanging around young people, and I wouldn't change what I do for any.
How do things change for the worse overall when Eric gets in early foul trouble?
Anthony Lee's done a good job, a really good job of filling in for Mike when Mike was out for those 13 games. But Mike gives you a presence. He's a big dude, strong dude too. And not only does he get a lot of rebounds and he blocks some shots, but he also changes more shots. And that's a presence that we really need. I think if you're going to advance in this tournament, you need good balance. You need inside play, on both ends, and you need guard play that really is very savvy. And we lost our savvy in the first 5 or 6 minutes of Friday's encounter with the University of Massachusetts.
Is there a school of thought that
You see guys elevate this guy. There's usually 8 on him.
Yeah.
If you had to handicap this,
Well, that would be great. I would love that. It would be tremendous if Mike would go out there and get you a double-double and just be in the right spot all the time defensively. That would be terrific. But again, I think you can't have one guy. You've got to have a host of guys to get you over the hump here. And Cal and/or South Florida's really good teams.
is there a school of thought maybe glad you got that bad performance out of the way?
I don't ever root for that, to be honest with you, Jim. I know that Coach Calipari talked about that. He didn't want his team to go in undefeated. I'd like to try that once. see what that feels like.
You have played your first game out of the box on Thursday. Last game on Friday. You like that better?
Yeah, I do. Kind of like sitting back and watching games and seeing everybody else be real nervous before I'm real nervous. But again, we've played a lot of games in this thing and at a lot of different times. I don't think it's a plus or minus. It's just if you're asking me, I would rather play on Friday than Thursday just to take another step back and prepare your team a little bit more.
You don't think it affects your kids? I mean, sometimes just watching.
Well, here's what I would say to you. I think playing the first game or playing the last game is not the easier route. If you said you could play the second game in the afternoon, I'd rather that, or the first game tonight, I'd rather that. But if you told me October 15th, you're going to be the 5th seed, you're going to be playing in Nashville on Friday night, I'm signing the papers immediately, and sooner, as my father used to say.
What do you do all day on Friday with them? What do you do with them?
Well, we're going to get out of the hotel and shoot around a little bit. We'll walk through some things just to get them moving a little bit. Later all day would be not beneficial. So, and we'll watch our last burst of film, which will be about 10 or 15 minutes, and just make sure that we have no question marks. Again, I wish that ensured that we were going to play great, but it's what you do. It's going to be a long day, although it'll be an hour less long than it is here.
Do you let yourself watch other tournament games? Can you sit back and
Yeah, I watch it. Yeah, when I'm not watching film of whoever it is we're going to play, yeah, sure, I'll watch bits and pieces. Like Wednesday night before we play, before we get a chance to watch the Cal South Florida game, I'm hoping we'll watch some of St. Joe's and LaSalle and Drexel and Penn. See what they do.
You talked about the experience of your guys, 3-4 years here in the tournament, and last year's experience, playing the game. How much does that help this year, knowing the situation and knowing what to expect?
Yeah, I think any experience is a good thing, whether it's like Friday, what happened to us. In the end, it's a good thing that we've got. What happened to us is we were up 5, we get down 10, but we get back to where we are. We're up 4 with the ball 2 times at the 6-minute mark. Those are good experiences. You know that you're not going to be down for long, and the experience of being here before in this situation is a good thing for us.
Do you coach differently in a tournament, or is it just kind of coaching wise in other games? Or anything you do differently?
Yeah, I don't think there's little nuances. Maybe throw some zone at some people that maybe you haven't done before in a possession or two. But in the end, if you're going to win, that means your defense is very solid and your offense is taking good advantage of making good decisions. Good decisions on shots, good decisions on passes, and you're not going to trick anybody at this point. You are who you are, and let's grab for it.
Everybody here has seen South Florida because they're in our time zone. They play. I bet everybody here hasn't seen a complete Cal game all year unless they've done South Florida. How about you? Does that affect? Would you rather be? Are you more familiar with South Florida than Cal? Can you?
A little more familiar this year with South Florida than Cal, but last year we played Cal, and many of the same guys are still there. Gutierrez is player of the year in the Pac-10 this year. He's a really good player at Cal. A kid named Crab, who's an outstanding jump shooter. So we know a little bit about them and how good a team they are. Mike Montgomery's a terrific coach. So we have a sense. In South Florida, I really enjoyed watching them play. I wasn't thinking of playing them when I was enjoying watching them play, but I like their team.
The last 5 games, I mean, bounce the ball here or there, you could have been 1-4.
Yeah.
Those are good teams to UMass and LaSalle.
Sure.
Recurring themes in those games, or were they all a little bit different?
Yeah, but like the LaSalle game, both LaSalle and UMass, we had leads late in the game and we didn't manage the last couple minutes, so that's a recurring thing. But they are good teams, and they took advantage of some slip-ups that we had, and some calls that went against us and for them, which is going to happen. You need to play through those.
Have you seen what you want to see mentally from them over the last couple of days since the UMass game? What do you look for?
Yeah, just good energy yesterday. We didn't go long. We went an hour and 5 minutes or so. But we watched